People say that I'm a sculptor, but I would use that term very loosely in relation to my work. I would say that I have a more social practice, in that what's important to me in terms of making artwork is who made the work, how the work is made.
Anya is a sculptor who has radicalized what it means to be sculpture, what sculpture means. She's changed so much about it. She changed the materials it's made from, its relationship to the idea of permanence and impermanence, the nature of its authorship, because she is somebody who works with communities to build works of art.
I respond to opportunities and invitations. So my work is actually all over the place and is inspired or initiated by somebody inviting me to do something. And from that, a question is formed in terms of a material or a process or something that I decide to explore. And then I go out and I find an expert in a material or a process or in an industry, and then I normally try and persuade them to do something that they don't think is a very good idea.
Anya's work's important because she's part of a generation that really changed sculpture, and in that generation she's one of the most radical and interesting. They changed sculpture because, for instance, it used to be executed only in the noble materials of bronze and marble, maybe wood, maybe clay, but those were the materials, that's what sculpture was. But her generation decided that they could use any materials.
A lot of the work is about being in the moment, trying to encourage us to be in the moment. I started out working more with organic materials, making much more temporal things that existed for a moment in time and then were swept away.
In the course of her work, Anya has used all kinds of materials, from salt to ice to plants to wax to any number of materials.
Often there's beauty and extraordinary things right in front of us, at home, under our noses, and we look far away for something exciting or interesting. You always enter one of the works at a certain point and you understand whether you're there at the beginning or at the end, something will happen or something has happened.
She'll have a course for a term on the desert, and we'll take her entire crew of students out to the desert to really get to know desert environments, what the heat is like, what the toxicity levels are, how the horizon looks, what's happening with the light and the air, to make work that's in response to the landscapes they find.
In terms of my students, you have to go into every project with an open mind, not thinking what you're going to get out of it at the end, and see what happens. It's about the process.
When she leaves this world, we'll have almost nothing left behind her because all of those artworks are impermanent.
So I realized that if I got hit by a bus tomorrow, I would be eradicated from art history. And so I started thinking about how, without compromising the ideas that I had been working with, how I could start working with materials that were not maybe so unsettling for institutions and collectors. So one of the projects that I'm working on at the moment is this 11-meter tall, mirror-polished stainless steel tree, which is going to be permanently installed outside the Whitworth Gallery in Manchester.
She's made a lot of changes in relation to gender and sexuality within the university, with the culture of the students, by promoting particular courses that are to do with difference on campus. And she's a champion of difference on campus.
I think it's really important to always start from a place of not knowing, which maybe doesn't make any sense, but I feel like that is the privilege that I have of being an artist, that every day starts with a question that I don't have an answer for, and each question makes another question, begets another question. There's never a place of stopping. I'm just kind of stumbling around from one question to another, and as long as people keep asking me and giving me opportunities to find a question, then I can keep going, and that's really fantastic and exciting to me.